What happened inside Clarence House this week didn't just make headlines, it disrupted a carefully maintained royal narrative that's been in place for years. Because sometimes the most powerful statement isn't delivered through speeches, press briefings, or official announcements. Sometimes it's delivered through silence, through placement, through one photograph quietly, deliberately left where the world could see it. A single framed image, displayed during a heavily photographed royal event, has reopened conversations the palace has tried to control, delay, or avoid. And at the centre of it all is King Charles and Meghan Markle. This was not accidental. This was not decorative. This was intentional. On Thursday, Queen Camilla hosted her annual Christmas gathering for children and families at Clarence House. Traditionally, it's one of the safest events on the royal calendar, warm, festive, predictable. Children laughing, decorations glowing, Santa greeting guests. It's the kind of event where controversy simply doesn't belong. But this year, something changed. As photographers scanned the room as they always do, they noticed a collection of framed photographs carefully positioned in the reception area. These weren't random family snapshots. They weren't generic royal portraits. They were chosen. And among them sat a photo that many believed had been quietly retired forever. King Charles walking Meghan Markle down the aisle at St. George's Chapel. That image, once celebrated, later buried, was back. Not hidden, not subtle, front-facing, clearly visible, impossible to ignore. Alongside it sat another powerful reminder, the official portrait from Prince Louis's christening in 2018, a moment when Harry and Meghan were still fully embedded, still smiling, still very much part of the institution. Within minutes, the UK press cycle erupted, because the question was immediate and unavoidable. Why now? Why display that photo of all photos at this moment in time? Why highlight Meghan Markle, the woman who has been systematically distanced from royal imagery, language and legacy for years? And perhaps most importantly, why do it during an event guaranteed to be photographed from every angle? The answer is simple, but uncomfortable. King Charles is communicating. For years, the dominant media narrative has insisted that Charles felt betrayed by Meghan, that he regretted walking her down the aisle, that he wished the entire chapter could be erased. But this single act quietly dismantles that story. Because people don't publicly display memories they want erased. They display memories they still value. Headlines flooded in almost instantly. King Charles displays touching photo of daughter-in-law Meghan Markle. King Charles keeps meaningful Meghan moment on display at Clarence House. Different outlets, same confusion, same curiosity. Why this memory? Why this signal? Behind the scenes, reports suggest that Harry and Meghan have been slowly, carefully rebuilding contact with King Charles over recent months. No grand gestures, no leaks, just quiet phone calls, warmer exchanges, subtle shifts in tone, and then this. This wasn't a reconciliation announcement, it was something far more royal. A signal. Royal households do not act impulsively. Every detail is filtered, approved, and weighed for consequence. Backgrounds are stripped of meaning unless meaning is intended. Which is what makes this moment extraordinary. Because this time, someone didn't remove something from the background. Someone added something to it. The photo was positioned exactly where cameras would linger, exactly where the press would notice, exactly where speculation would follow. It was a message wrapped in sentiment. Despite tabloid claims that Charles had severed all emotional ties, insiders have long confirmed that he never removed photos of Harry and Meghan from his private spaces. Wedding images, family moments, smiling faces. Even during the most hostile years, those photos reportedly stayed. That matters, because it reveals a truth tabloids never wanted to admit. Charles may be many things, but he is not emotionally detached from his son. For months, royal insiders have whispered that Charles regrets how deeply the family divide widened. Regrets the silence, regrets the missed years. Displaying that photograph says something profound without saying anything at all. I remember when we trusted each other. I remember the joy. I remember when she reached for my arm. And I remember how that felt. This is not an apology. This is not absolution. But it is acknowledgement. And then there is Queen Camilla. Nothing appears in Clarence House without approval. She could have asked for the photo to be moved. She could have redirected the setup. She didn't. For a woman often portrayed as Meghan's rival, her decision to leave the photo untouched is striking, which has led many to believe this wasn't Camilla's choice at all. It was Charles's request, and she respected it. Royal aides are trained to prevent speculation, not invite it. Yet here, speculation was inevitable. That alone confirms intention. This wasn't carelessness. This was choreography. Charles walking Meghan down the aisle was one of the most human moments of his public life. It wasn't about monarchy. It wasn't about hierarchy. It was about compassion stepping in when her father could not. Displaying that image again says, I valued that role. I valued her trust. I valued that bond. For Meghan, after years of relentless public attack, this gesture is no small thing. It's one of the rare moments where the institution acknowledges her presence not as a problem, but as part of the family story. Let's be honest, this is not reconciliation. This is not a reunion. But it is movement. The monarchy does not leap it inches. And King Charles understands something critical: time. This may be his final opportunity to reshape his relationship with his younger son. Harry has spoken openly about wanting communication with his father. He has said he loves him, but he has also made it clear he will not chase affection that comes with silence or dismissal. Now imagine Harry seeing that image, his father publicly honouring one of the happiest moments of his life. That message isn't only for Meghan, it's for Harry. You still belong. You were never erased. And there is also a strategic layer. Charles's reign is not universally popular. His image has struggled to fully resonate. Meanwhile, the son who left commands global attention and emotional loyalty. That photo quietly reframes Charles not as cold monarch, but as father. I am capable of warmth. I am capable of reflection. But this gesture reportedly unsettled another corner of the palace. William's camp is said to be uneasy because reconciliation complicates narratives. It softens edges, and if Charles moves forward, William must decide whether to follow or resist. For years, tabloids insisted Charles wanted nothing to do with Meghan. Now her image sits proudly in his personal residence. This moment quietly undermines years of manufactured hostility. Clarence House is not neutral ground. It reflects Charles's inner world. If a photo appears there during a press-heavy event, it's because he wants it seen. This was not Camilla's message. This was Charles's. Online reactions were split. Some called it a touching olive branch. Others accused hypocrisy. Some saw sincerity. Others saw strategy. But even critics acknowledged one truth. This mattered. Insiders now suggest the coming year may bring change: more UK visits from Harry, selective appearances by Meghan, private family meetings, and a softened palace tone. Nothing dramatic, nothing rushed, just movement. That 2018 moment mattered because it symbolized acceptance, protection, unity. Bringing it back now revives that meaning. After years of dehumanization, this was a quiet acknowledgement that Meghan mattered and still does. For Harry, it may be reassurance that his father remembers their bond and is trying in the only way he knows how. And for the rest of us, it was a reminder. Behind the institution are people, flawed, emotional, regretful, hopeful. And sometimes a single photograph tells more truth than any palace statement ever could. King Charles sent a message at Clarence House, a message of memory, connection and possibility. The UK noticed, the media scrambled, the world paid attention. Because sometimes the loudest message is delivered without a single word.